Budget Secretary Butch Abad says the proposed expenditure program for next year fulfills the Aquino administration's commitment to further facilitate rapid, inclusive, and sustainable growth in the country. Abad stressed this as he submitted to Congress the proposed 2.606 trillion peso national budget for 2015. The outlay is 15.1% higher than the current year's 2.265 trillion budget. Added details from Freddie Abando.
The House Committee on Appropriations, chaired by Congressman Isidro Unga, will start its review of the proposed 2015 national budget of 2.606 trillion pesos next week. All budgetary allocations of every agency in government, from the presidency to Congress and the judiciary, will undergo strict scrutiny to ensure every item funded by taxpayers' money will be spent wisely. The budget was submitted by DBM Secretary Florencio Abad to Speaker Feliciano Belmonte 2 days after the President delivered his State of the Nation address. The controversial disbursement acceleration program, declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, will come into play during the debate. The House is expected to approve a joint resolution to define the process by which savings can be utilized for other programs and projects without violating the High Tribunal's ruling.
Congress has the power to clarify and to define further. The first issue has to do with the definition of savings, which of course we have in the General Appropriations Act, as well as the timing of the declaration of the savings. The second issue has to do with the activation of the standby or the program appropriations and the timing of the declaration of the excess or new sources of revenue that is needed to activate the standby appropriation. And the last issue has to do with the definition of item of appropriation as distinguished from, for example, allotment class or objects of expenditure. These are very well within the power of Congress to clarify and to define.
Speaker Feliciano Belmonte declared the House will exercise its oversight functions to review periodically how government spends the budget. The Speaker's speech when sessions opened last Monday, the creation of an Audit and Finance Committee to work closely with the Appropriations Committee to ensure more accountability and transparency in the implementation of the budget.
We are definitely going ahead with our idea. We have some researchers going on in what it can do, what it should do. Basically, among other things, it's not just propriety of expense, but also effectiveness of the expense that we want to look into. Okay, legal, pero did it achieve what it was meant to achieve? That sort of thing. These are additional factors that we would like to look into.
Of the proposed 2.606 trillion budget, the Department of Education has the biggest allocation of 364.958 billion pesos. More funds for classrooms, teachers, textbooks in preparation for the full implementation of the K-12 program. The DPWH is second with 300.519 billion pesos for infrastructure spending, 144.036 billion pesos for defense to enhance the capability upgrade of the AFP. DILG at 141.423 billion pesos and the DSWD with 108.970 billion pesos. Its centerpiece program is the Conditional Cash Transfer Program, amounting to almost 65 billion pesos to benefit 5 million marginalized families. Minority Leader Ronaldo Zamora said the CCT is a major concern for the opposition.
Obviously, we will be looking at individual programs. Some of them we have mentioned in our previous debates. For instance, CCT. I am uncertain even now, after 5, now 6 years of CCT, whether the program is in fact as effective as it should be. Or should we not be looking at CCT less as a dole-out year-by-year program and more of a job creation program.
For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando reporting.